The most insidious prisons aren't built with bars of steel, but forged from the fragile chains of your weakest feelings. For too long, we've been conditioned to coddle these whispers of inadequacy, these tremors of self-doubt, mistaking them for inherent truths rather than transient emotions. We've allowed fear to masquerade as caution, anxiety as insight, and the profound ache of past hurts to dictate the possibilities of our future. This isn't about denying your humanity. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about understanding that these weak feelings, the ones that paralyze you, that whisper you can't, that remind you of every past failure, are not masters of your destiny. They are merely indicators, sometimes signals, often echoes of old wounds, but never, ever the ultimate authority on what you are capable of. Napoleon Hill, in his profound exploration of success, didn't suggest ignoring challenges or pretending difficulties didn't exist. Instead, he illuminated the immense power of a mind singularly focused, a will unyielding in its pursuit of purpose. He understood that the greatest battles are won not in external skirmishes, but in the internal dominion over one's own thoughts and emotions. Think of the boundless resolve of Harriet Tubman, leading enslaved people to freedom. Do you imagine her journey was free of fear, of exhaustion, of profound doubt? Of course not. Yet, her unshakable conviction, her deep-seated purpose, burned so brightly that it incinerated the weaker feelings that would have otherwise consumed her. She didn't dismiss fear. She harnessed it, transformed it into vigilance. She didn't surrender to exhaustion. She pushed through it, fueled by the vision of liberation. Her actions were a living testament to the truth that courage isn't the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. And that triumph begins not with an external victory, but with an internal decision to deny those weak feelings the power to define you. It is a decision to starve the doubt, to suffocate the self-pity, and to redirect the emotional energy that might otherwise consume you into the furnace of your unwavering will. This isn't about being stoic or emotionless. It's about being strategically emotional, channeling your energy towards creation, towards progress, towards the very essence of your highest potential, rather than allowing it to drain into the abyss of unproductive anxieties. Your feelings are data, yes, but they are not always destiny. It is your interpretation, your response, your conscious choice to either succumb to their weight or transcend their limitations that truly determines the trajectory of your life. This insidious power that weak feelings wield often manifests as procrastination, a seductive siren song that promises comfort in delay while subtly eroding your ambition. It tells you, wait until you feel more confident. Wait until the conditions are perfect. Wait until the fear subsides. But confidence isn't a prerequisite for action. It's a byproduct of it. The conditions are rarely perfect. And fear, for those who dare to live fully, is a constant companion. Not an obstacle to be entirely overcome, but a force to be acknowledged and then moved through. Consider the legendary persistence of Colonel Sanders, who didn't achieve widespread success with Kentucky Fried Chicken until his 60s. After countless rejections, do you believe he never felt discouragement, never felt the sting of humiliation? Undoubtedly, but he refused to allow those weak feelings to become a terminal diagnosis for his dreams. He transmuted his frustration into fuel, his setbacks into stepping stones. His relentless action, despite the emotional headwinds, created an empire. This isn't an isolated phenomenon. It's a fundamental principle of human achievement. Every great inventor, every groundbreaking artist, every transformative leader, from Leonardo da Vinci to Marie Curie, encountered immense internal and external resistance. They faced moments when their spirit was tested, when the weak feelings of despair, inadequacy, and doubt clawed at their resolve. Yet, they pushed forward, not because they were immune to these feelings, but because their vision, their purpose, their unwavering belief in what was possible was more powerful than any internal tremor. Clarity of vision is the acid that dissolves the chains of weak feelings. When your why is profoundly clear, when your purpose burns with an incandescent intensity, the smaller, weaker emotions begin to lose their grip. They become background noise, easily drowned out by the thunderous roar of your conviction. This isn't about brute forcing your way through life. It's about cultivating such a profound connection to your highest aims that the distractions of anxiety, fear, and self-doubt simply lose their magnetic pull. It's about consciously choosing to align your emotional state with your desired outcome, rather than allowing fleeting emotional states to dictate your actions. You are not a victim of your feelings. You are the architect of your emotional landscape. The cultivation of this clarity and purpose demands a fierce, unapologetic discipline, not the kind of discipline that feels like punishment, but the inspired discipline born from an unyielding commitment to your own potential. It is the steady, quiet resolve that allows you to show up day after day, even when the internal headwinds are gale force. Think of the profound, almost unimaginable discipline of Viktor Frankl, surviving the horrors of concentration camps, yet maintaining his internal freedom, finding meaning, even in unimaginable suffering. His story is a powerful testament to the fact that even when everything external is stripped away, your internal landscape, your thoughts, your feelings, your response remains your sovereign territory. He didn't deny his immense suffering, but he refused to let it define him or steal his dignity. He systematically killed the weak feelings of despair and nihilism by choosing meaning, purpose, and the unwavering belief in the human spirit. This discipline is the cornerstone of resilience. Resilience isn't the absence of trauma or setback. It's the profound ability to transmute those experiences into sources of strength. It's the alchemical process of transforming pain into power, loss into wisdom. When weak feelings threaten to overwhelm you, the profound sadness of grief, the gnawing anxiety of uncertainty, the bitter taste of betrayal discipline is the rudder that keeps your ship pointed towards your true north. It's the unwavering commitment to the practices that nourish your spirit, that fortify your mind, that strengthen your resolve. This includes acts of self-care, often dismissed as luxuries, sufficient rest, nourishing food, mindful movement, and deep, intentional connection with others. These are not weaknesses. They are essential fortifications in the war against your weaker self. And in this process, gratitude becomes a revolutionary act. It's not about ignoring your pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's about consciously choosing to acknowledge the blessings, however small, that still exist amidst the storm. It's about finding the slivers of light in the darkest corners and allowing that light to grow, to illuminate the path forward. Gratitude starves the weak feelings of resentment, envy, and scarcity, replacing them with a sense of abundance and possibility. It's a powerful emotional pivot, actively choosing to focus on what empowers you rather than what diminishes you. The path to mastery. Whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your personal well-being, is paved not with the absence of weak feelings, but with the consistent, deliberate act of transcending them. It is in these moments of internal struggle, when the temptation to yield to comfort, to surrender to fear, to wallow in self-pity is strongest, that your true character is forged. This is where learning truly accelerates. Every time you consciously choose to push past the internal resistance, to confront the uncomfortable truth, to take the difficult step despite the tremor in your voice or the knot in your stomach, you are not just building momentum. You are rewriting the neural pathways of your brain. You are teaching yourself on a visceral level that you are stronger than your weakest feelings. Consider the sheer audacity of the Wright brothers, facing ridicule and countless setbacks, yet relentlessly pursuing the dream of flight. Every failed experiment, every crashed prototype was an invitation for weak feelings, disappointment, despair, the urge to quit to take hold. But they didn't succumb. They learned. They adapted. They leveraged every perceived failure as a data point, an opportunity to refine their approach. Their triumph was not just over gravity, but over the internal gravitational pull of self-doubt and societal skepticism. This is the essence of true adaptability. It's not merely reacting to external circumstances. It's about proactively shaping your internal response to those circumstances. It's about recognizing that every setback, every loss, every moment of perceived weakness holds within it a seed of invaluable wisdom. It's an opportunity to recalibrate, to gain clarity, to deepen your resolve. Your trauma, your loss, your setbacks. These are not permanent verdicts on your worth or your potential. They are profound teachers, often harsh ones, but teachers nonetheless. They have equipped you with a depth of understanding, a capacity for empathy, and a resilience that those who have not walked a similar path can scarcely imagine. To kill your weak feelings, then, is not to suppress them, but to disarm them. It is to acknowledge their presence without allowing them to dictate your reality or diminish your inherent power. It is to treat them as signals to be analyzed, lessons to be learned, and then consciously and deliberately choose a more empowering response. This is the ongoing, courageous work of self-mastery, a process that continuously refines you, making you more potent, more purposeful, more authentically you. Now, understand this crucial point: the power to silence these weaker feelings, to transmute their negative energy, resides entirely within your locus of control. It isn't granted by external validation, nor is it dependent on the absence of challenge. It is an internal forge, fueled by your unwavering commitment to your own highest good. This is where the concept of personal accountability becomes paramount. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming circumstances, attributing your stagnation to external forces beyond your command. But true empowerment blossoms when you recognize that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you absolutely control how you choose to respond. This means taking responsibility for your emotional state, for the narratives you feed yourself, and for the actions you take or fail to take. This isn't about harsh self-criticism, but about honest self-assessment and a fierce determination to be the captain of your own ship. Eleanor Roosevelt, a woman who navigated immense personal and public challenges, famously said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." This profound truth underscores the core battle we're discussing: the weak feelings, inferiority, shame, helplessness. Only gain power when you grant them permission to define you. It's a subtle yet seismic shift in perspective. And with this shift comes the exhilarating realization that you possess the inherent ability to revoke that permission at any moment. It demands courage, yes, but it's a courage that resides within you, waiting to be awakened. It's a muscle that strengthens with every conscious choice to defy the inertia of despair, to push past the whispers of doubt, to choose belief over apprehension. This deliberate choice, this unwavering commitment to your own growth, becomes the ultimate weapon in your arsenal against the very feelings that seek to hold you captive. So, what if the greatest act of liberation you could ever perform isn't external, but an internal declaration of war against the tyranny of your weakest feelings? What if the boundless potential that resides within you is just waiting to be unleashed, freed from the invisible shackles of fear, doubt, and self-pity? Imagine a life where your emotional landscape is not dictated by the echoes of the past, but by the powerful, deliberate choices you make in the present moment. This isn't a pipe dream. It is the inevitable outcome of consistent, courageous action against your internal resistance. It is the profound freedom that comes from consistently choosing faith over fear, purpose over paralysis, and resilient action over reactive despair. The climactic battle in the war of you versus you is waged every single day, in every conscious breath, in every decision to step forward when your weaker feelings urge you to retreat. And with each victory, no matter how small, you are not just killing a weak feeling. You are resurrecting a stronger version of yourself. You are building an unshakable fortress of self-belief, a resilient spirit that understands that while the external world may present challenges, your internal world remains your unassailable kingdom. This isn't an end point. It's a perpetual state of becoming, a continuous journey of transformation where you are constantly refining, constantly expanding, constantly aligning with the highest, most authentic expression of who you are meant to be. The war rages on, yes, but you are no longer a victim. You are the warrior. And the ultimate victory is not just overcoming weakness, but realizing the boundless strength that was always residing within you, waiting to be unleashed. It is time to step into that power,